Order in the court.
What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Court of Opinion. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. The court is in session. And today, clap it up because the playoffs have started. The playoffs are here. And we have a special guest for the playoffs. Legend of winning, the great himself, the man himself, Low. How are we feeling today?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, for
No,
sure. We
for sure.
appreciate you for coming in as well. And I feel like this is the right guest to get us kicked off because I'm excited. I got some great takes to give today because a lot of people already been killing me on my lives about, we going to get into it later. But, Glor, how you feeling today?
Feeling good, bro. I just want to say before we pop off, man, Low is probably OG of this NBA, basketball community in the YouTube space. I've been watching him before he had the face cam. I don't know what he looked like before the face cam, but my boy's come a long way, and I really appreciate you for coming on to this platform, man. I really appreciate that.
No, I appreciate y'all having me and stuff like that, and always watching and supporting, bro.
No,
For
for
sure, for
sure.
sure. And we can hop right in. Wait, how do you feel about? I know it's a little beef going on. Well, I wouldn't say beef, but the little DeMar DeRozan thing with Nerd Session. And how you feel about that? Because I know you be on Twitter.
I don't know. I find it's funny to me. Demar, he responded to me a few times as well, where he didn't like a couple of things that I had to say about the Kings and his situation. But I mean, he be on there. I think Carson, it was out of the blue type of shot. I don't know why Carson just did that. That was kind of odd, but outside of that, I mean, I understood what Carson was trying to say, and I also understand why he upset. But
Okay.
it is what it is.
Yeah, you know how Twitter puts it though, because when you say stuff like what do you say disturbing like the yeah,
Yeah,
something like that, like you know how they gonna mix it up and make it sound if he was joking or not. But you feel like DeMar DeRozan is a winning player.
he a winning player, but at the level that you probably need him to be at, he not at that level. No.
No, I just feel like, to me, you said it perfectly in your tweet. I saw your tweet. You said Steph Curry and James Harden are still active, and I don't know what the chances of DeMar DeRozan is keeping up at this level over Steph Curry and James Harden, especially if they don't retire within the next couple of years. So the argument is kind of like dumb if you really think about it, because he probably won't even end up in the top 10 scoring all time. But the fact that he's even in that top 15, top 10 all time shows his consistencies throughout the year. So I don't think it should have, I think it was a straight shot for no reason. But shout out Carson though.
For sure. And Glora, what do you think? What is your overall thoughts of this season from the start to the finish? How do you think this season went, and what takes have you gotten right, and what takes have you gotten wrong?
To answer the first question, this year it was a really good year. I thought it was good, a lot of good storylines, a lot of good basketball being played. And just like last year, there's a lot of parity going on in the league, which I really like. So, OKC Thunder, they've been really dominant throughout the entirety of the year. They actually started off the season, what, 25-0, which a lot of people thought they were going to end up breaking the Warriors record, which is absolutely bizarre. Never believed in that, but a phenomenal team, and still been able to be at the top of the NBA. The Nuggets, had a great start, but been dealing with injuries. Those are the two teams that I had coming out of the Western Conference. It was between them, and I still feel that way. On the Eastern end, it's been like a roller coaster. I think the Eastern Conference this year, everybody recognized that it was wide open. But even like, I think it was ended up being even more wide open than we originally anticipated, just due to the Atlanta Hawks and the Orlando Magic, in specifically falling out of everybody's top five. I mean, consensus in the beginning of the season, everybody thought Orlando and the Hawks would be going to be a top five seed, and that ended up not coming into fruition, either due to injuries or yeah, actually mainly due to injuries and just teams being underwhelming compared to where we had them before. But overall, this season, I really like what the NBA is at. The only thing that kind of fucked it up was a 65 game minimum. That was a completely and utter fucking mess. Me and me and Jules Compton were on it super early about this being a really negative thing that would impact the NBA. And to me, I think I've never been the one to use accomplishments like all NBA as the end all be all to who's the better player, but a lot of people do. And I'm glad that this thing happened in some sense, because now this makes us reevaluate how we look at these awards and the context behind that. And that's a discussion that we should have had a long time ago in the NBA, and I'm glad we're having it now because of this.
Okay, and my thought of the NBA season, as a Wolves fan, I don't really, um, we don't take the regular season as seriously as we should. But I think it was one of the more funnier seasons, right? You had the Miles Turner closing the book, Giannis going through the little saga that he's going through. Like you say, the 65 game rule, some stuff going on there with Cade Cunningham, Luka Doncic. We don't know if they're gonna get their waiver sign or whatever. But this season has been a roller coaster for sure. With the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Spurs. That's a take that I got wrong for sure. I think the Spurs would be a top, 5 team in the West. I thought they'd be around the play-in area. But Wemby's been super dominant this year, and also the Celtics. No, you're not gonna say nothing about your Celtics, right?
And I'm gonna say that for later, because I got something for you and Lo too, because I know both of y'all been
Okay,
real. I got something
okay.
for both y'all niggas. Yeah, I'm gonna say that for later. Trust.
Okay. But the Celtics as well, they're just one of those teams that just play super like teams that just have a great culture, right? They're one of those type of teams that whoever's wearing that Boston uniform is going to play hard, and I really felt like we underestimated, the culture of it all, right? We seen the talent around. I was the guy who was down to Hugo Gonzalez and Anemis Cade and all them type of guys, and said, okay, I don't think losing Tatum and Drew Holiday and Chris Porzingis, they're not not going to be a top 3 seed anymore. But we were wrong. Tatum coming back is a great storyline. My Grizzlies with John Morant, we'll see what happens there. We just seen John Morant's not doing his exit interviews, so that's going to be an interesting summer for John Morant. But other than that, I mean, the season has been pretty. It went by super fast, like super
It
duper
did.
fast. How do you feel about
It
the
did.
season, Lil?
I thought it was. I agree. It's like one of the more eventful seasons. I messed with it from start to finish. Towards the tail end, with the like half of the league tanking, that kind of sucked because there was a lot of like free wins that were being handed out to people, and now people think like the Hawks are are going to make some noise and stuff like that. And then they obviously the ongoing 65 game rule topic of discussion. That definitely sucks, especially for someone like Cade, who should get some form of representation of what he did this year. But I mean, overall though, I agree. Like from start to finish, it was fun. It was eventful. I thought it was one of the better just overall seasons, and kind of watching a lot of players mature, grow, and develop. And I would say like for the first time, probably since like a decade ago, actually, when Curry kind of emerged, I do feel like there is another wave of new energy into the
For
league that can
sure,
kind
for
of
sure, for
carry and
sure.
kind of hold its own. So I think that's probably my biggest takeaway.
For sure, and exciting season, and we're ready for the playoffs, so we can hop right in because this is kind of the juice, the meat of the episode. We gonna start with
Pause.
you, Glor, for the first. Yeah, pause. Hold on, pause. But for the first little matchup, right? We're gonna start with the play-in. The Clippers and the Warriors, a 9 and 10 seed. Who you got getting out of that series? Not series, but playing game.
Um, I think the Clippers are gonna win. They've been there's it's been a very eventful season for them. Obviously, trading away trading away James Harden for Darius Garland in the trade deadline, and that's been up and down as well. Garland still, I feel he's not 100% going into the playoffs. Which was a huge thing for me, because I think the Clippers could have made a noise if that was the case, but that doesn't look like the case. But I still think that's enough to get by the Golden State Warriors, who are down a lot of key players like Jimmy Butler in particular. I think that this team is it just doesn't have the firepower, I don't believe, to keep up with the Clippers, as well as the defensive capabilities that they have. Although the Clippers have shown weaknesses to stretch fives in particular, I find it difficult to guard them when you have a personnel like KP. But I still think they'll be able to get the win just based off their size and athleticism, and they win within the margin. So unless Steph Curry turns into Steph Curry, I don't think this will be a really close game.
Okay, and the Suns and Blazers matchup. Give us that, and also since you had the Clippers moving on, who you think are going to make the playoffs at the AFC?
So the Suns in Portland is an interesting matchup because I think both teams have struggled either due to injuries or just offensive stagnation in the half court. I think Portland, it has been playing phenomenal defense as of recently. Led by Klingon, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the league, and I think he's their X factor in this game. If they can win in the post and win when the turnover battle as well as the second chance points, I think they can make this game interesting and it might even pull out the win. But I have the Suns pulling this out because I think they just have too much firepower and I trust their half court offense more. As for the matchup between the Suns and the Clippers, if they advance, I would pick the Clippers. I think that Kawhi Leonard is having his offensive peak right now. I think that with his two-way ability, along with Garland being giving you um, somewhat of an advantage creation and his playmaking ability, even if he's not a high level scorer, I think that would be enough to get by the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker.
And for me, I'm gonna start off with the Clippers and the Warriors. I got the Clippers, man. The Clippers have just been a really good team after January, especially when they added, Darius Garland, and a lot of them guys. And when Darius Garland and Kawhi Leonard share the floor, they have an insane plus net rating. I know it's a low amount of minutes, but they when they share the court together, they're a really good basketball team, right? They've been really good in the half court. I think they've been the top 10 half court offense after I think around February or something like that. So they've been really good on both ends. They got guys like Chris Dunn. They got guys like Nicholas Batum who can come and suppress things a little bit. Right, Kawhi Leonard's having one of his best seasons of his career. He's upgraded as a jump shooter. And I think, it was a hard matchup for me to choose because I'm like, okay, you see Steph Curry on the other side. He might be getting healthy and things like that. But I'm like, no, I mean, the better team would have to be the Clippers. You got Benedict Mathurin. When he first came to the Clippers, he was like playing soup really well for them off the bench.
He came back down to earth.
He's kind of
he came back.
That's true, but yeah, but I mean, he was a good suppressor for them off the bench because the question with this team really was like, what are they without Kawhi Leonard? When Kawhi went off the bench, as you can see in the offensive rating, like they had I think it's a 113, and they have a 122 when he's on the floor. So like they're a really good team when he's on and terrible when he's off. But I think Benedict Mathurin kind of suppressed those minutes, and he's been good for them. Like, a lot of I think they lack a lot of big depth, like a lot of rim protection. Sometimes with Brook Lopez in there, but Niedenhauser has been good in some minutes for them as well. But so I got the Clippers in that matchup. For me, with the Suns, the Blazers, you talking too good about the Blazers, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Blazers are a fluky team. Like the Blazers are a team to me where, like, if the Grizzlies were good, if the Pelicans were good, you know what I'm saying, teams we thought were gonna be in that little playing area, right? If they were better than what we expect them, what we expect them to be, then the Blazers will not be where they're at. Like, they battled injuries and they're terrible. They're a terrible half court team. I don't believe in Denny Avia, and they turn the ball over like probably the most in the NBA. They have the highest turnover percentage out of every single team in the whole entire playoffs. They can't take care of the ball. So you know what the Suns thrive off of? They thrive off of teams turning the ball over. They have a really good defense in the half court, a really good team defense, right? And I wouldn't say they have just crazy point of attack defenders, but like Jordan Ott coaches this team really well, right? You got athleticism, a whole lot of athleticism, a whole bunch of wings, and they guard really well. And I think that they're going to turn that team over. They're going to get up threes, and they're going to make them. They're going to beat them. And on the other end, when the Blazers go play the Clippers, I just think the Clippers have been better than them since Kawhi and then that team decided to.
Wait, you mean the Suns when the Suns play the Clippers? You got
No, the Suns
No.
in Portland are
Yeah.
they have to lose
okay.
twice.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, got you.
Yeah, so and I see them just turn the ball over again. And Donovan Clean, like you said, he's underrated, but I think that it's a specific skill that he lacks, right? And it's just you can't really play any other scheme with him, right? And because of his mobility and his foot speed. So, like, even if the Warriors were to win in a Clippers matchup, I still don't think the Blazers will make the playoffs. And that's because, like, Curry, when he sees the Blazers in front of him, is food, right? He sees a drop coverage in front of him because you have to play that with Clingan, right? And when Clingan's on the floor for the Blazers, their 3-point percentage for the other team is the frequency and the percentage is way higher, right? Because like they see that drop coverage, it's either a pick and pop, right, or it's a pull up three. It's one of the two or the others, right? He's a great rim protector, good rebounder. He can also shoot the three ball a little bit, but this year, like he's gotta just get a little bit faster on the perimeter, right? And once he figures that out, then we're talking about like Clingan being one of the ones. But right now, I have the Clippers as my eighth seed, and the Suns as my seventh seed. And what is it for you, Lo? Who do you have coming out these playing matchups in the West?
It's the same for me. I think Phoenix is going to beat Portland, and then Clippers with the Warriors. Yeah, what the Clippers have done in the second half of the season after a really bad start, very impressive. They've just been easily one of the better teams. Defensively, they're very well rounded. Even with the Brook Lopez concerns with his foot speed, excuse me, and just lack of consistent interior defensive presence like he used to back in the day. Still a really good defensive team, and Kawhi is like peaking as an offensive player throughout his career. I do love the Mathurin and Garland additions, kind of add even more to what they provide offensively. I actually think out of the four, they are the best team. Obviously, they don't have to. Probably have to face Phoenix, but I think they're going to, without a doubt, beat the Golden State Warriors and who comes out of the other matchup. And then Phoenix and Portland. I'm not too familiar with Portland outside of like defensively, they're really, really good, especially in the second half of the season. But I agree, like if Denny Avdia is your best on-ball creator and really, quite frankly, the only one in a offense that is like, yeah, the offense that struggles in terms of like three-point shooting, that would be problematic. They could just win off of sheer defense, but I still think that's going to be very problematic. And then on the flip side, I personally have not really been a fan of Phoenix, but I cannot knock like their 3-point shooting. When they do get hot, they get the threes up and they can knock them down at a really, really crazy rate. So I have the Clippers making the 8th seed and Phoenix making the 7th seed. Maybe Portland makes things a little interesting defensively. Warriors, though, I'm out on Golden State. It would take like a miracle back-to-back games from Curry, which I'm not saying it's impossible, but like if that's what it's going to take for them to like proceed, then I don't think I would rely on that more than just the Clippers as being able to beat you in more than one way.
So we both have the same thing. Glore, you have the Blazers making the playoffs. That's really interesting. But we can move on to the Thunder and the Clippers for the both of us. Or for all of us, who do you have coming out of that matchup? Should be pretty self-explanatory. Shouldn't
Yeah, Thunder. Yeah,
Thunder
yeah.
should pretty much. Yeah,
The playing to me don't even really matter because
yeah,
Thunder and
that's
Thunder and
facts.
San Antonio, they about to dominate.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. But we can. So you have the Blazers. So me and Lowe both have the uh, Suns making the playoffs, right? So you let me get this straight. You have the Blazers making the playoffs as your seventh seed.
No, no, I have the Suns. I had the Suns beating the
Oh,
Portland.
you have the Blazers beating the Clippers. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so Thunder
No, no,
versus
no, no, no,
Blazers.
no, no. What? No,
You had the
I had,
Clippers winning.
yeah.
I
What?
thought we
Oh,
all
so
three had the
we
same.
good.
Yeah,
No, we
we,
good. Okay, we good. We
yeah.
good. All right, man. We
Man,
can
I'm
we can.
not you, nigga. I do not have the. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, bro. No, I had the Clippers, bro.
Okay. So we can skip over the Thunder Clippers. I say 4 games max, 5 games maybe, right? The Suns and Spurs. I think this is a more interesting matchup. It should be a pretty consensus between all of us three. But we're gonna start with you, Lo. Who you got? And how
I
many
have
games?
I have the Spurs winning in like 5. I don't know why. And somebody else told me this, like they was like, oh, they really make Wemby work. I'm like, I guess. Now, I just think, bro, when you go into a series with San Antonio, you don't have ball handling to like a very high level. And you kind of really rely on 3-point shooting and trying to create something from behind the arc with those type of athletes. It's just going to be very, very difficult. I don't see how the Suns even get hot enough to push it more than just 5 games. So I got San Antonio 5.
Okay. Glory, you got and how
I
many
agree with
games?
Low. I don't know why the fuck you said there was gonna be some tough series. No, the
Right.
Spurs are probably the Spurs are probably gonna sweep or get the game in 5 games. I do think that Jordan Ott did throw a really good defensive scheme at Wemby. I believe it was the first time that they faced where they were playing that gap defense and really making Wemby work for everything and making him take long contested twos at the high elbow. But um, I think that unless the Spurs have some horrible 3-point shooting slump, right, where like OKC did last year, I don't see this series being that competitive. And even if they do have a bad defensive slump, I think they're that good on the defensive end. They're gonna cause enough turnovers to overcome that. So I had the Spurs in an easy gentleman sweep.
Well, I agree with y'all about the easy gentleman sweep, right? I have the Spurs in 5, but what I don't agree is that Lowe said that Wemby's not going to have a tough time with them boys over there in Phoenix. So, because, Wembyama against Royce O'Neal is like, I believe it's like 33 possessions, and he's shooting below 50 true shooting. So it's not no myth. It's not no them boys be boxing Wemby up. That's what it is. So I don't. That's the thing. They can make it interesting if the others don't show up and the experience kind of riles up for the Spurs, right? And that matchup specifically, I don't think that's going to happen, right?
Hey,
Because what?
sorry, go ahead, finish up.
No. Say what you was going to say.
No, I was gonna ask Lowe, what do you think about the experience aspect? Because that's a big conversation that we've had on this podcast, and where as it pertains to the Spurs specifically, because we got four out of the top, maybe top 5 players: De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Wemby, and you can count Champagnie or Kellen Johnson, to haven't played a single minute of postseason play, including not even a playing game. And are you guys are like does that play a factor in how we assess their performance in the playoffs?
It'll play a factor, just not against the Suns. Like, it's Phoenix. I hear like maybe I think one of the Wemby had like a really bad game against them early on this season. I would love to see. I don't know how often they played towards the second half of the year, but like I don't even think Wemby has to be that crazy as a offensive player in that series. That is like a stereotypical Wemby can probably, I don't want to say like pseudo Tim Duncan, but he can go out there, average 18 points, and still potentially still be the most impactful player on the floor just off of defense alone. Like, it's going to be really hard for them to like get some stuff off. But yeah, sure, maybe Wemby struggles against Royce O'Neal, boxing him up. But like, I don't think outside of like that potentially developing, I don't really think it matters. Even if San Antonio is like struggling from 3, I just don't think it matters. Defensively alone, they can get them.
What I was saying was like they can make it interesting if Wemby struggles, right? But like you said, I don't think he has to be some great type of player in that series, because if I'm looking on the other side and I'm seeing Stephon Castle guarding Devin Booker, he's also struggling in that matchup, right? And I don't trust Devin Booker against top 10 defenses. Devin Booker is 25 points per game and 58 true shooting, right? He's got into this little foul baiting thing that it's more egregious than it was 2-3 years ago with Devin Booker. I don't know what's going on with him, but like I see a lot of guys on the other end that can just be prone to ball pressure, right? And I think the Spurs are going to really completely clamp them guys over there because their offense is not good. It's not good in the half court. But I watched the game earlier in the season where it was the Magic versus the Suns, and it was awful. Like, completely. I think it was that game where Jalen Green hit the game winner. Like, it was awful. The offense was just awful. So, they're going to clamp them boys. They're going to get out of that series in a tight close little 5. I'm gonna say Suns scare them a little bit at home. I'm gonna say they scare them a little bit. Like, they get a close one, but I say a quick little 5. But we can move on to the meat and potatoes of the West, right? And that is Lowe's team, the Lakers and the Rockets. We're gonna start with you since this is your team. The Lakers versus the Rockets. Who wins and how many games?
To be direct, I think Houston should win in like 6. But
Sure.
if there was a team that as a Laker fan I would want to face in the first round, it would be Houston. Obviously we can't reach second seed to face the Suns or anything like that. But bro, Houston has had like really bad stretches in the second half, lack of offense creation, not passing the ball properly, especially when KD gets hit double. I do think over a stretch of a 7-game series, they're going to start adding the reps up to get better at trying to counter that. So I don't expect them to like struggle. That would be crazy if Durant does for an entire series though. But that outside of that, I like Minnesota would have been a bad matchup for us, like a really, really bad matchup. And then if Denver had fell even further and we faced them in the first round, that would have been a horrible matchup. But I just think off of just defense alone, defense and athleticism, rebounding, they do really, really great even without Adams, just out rebounding us in a lot of our matchups. And on top of that, we don't have Luka or Reeves. And Shams did, I think, just recently, and maybe when this comes out, who knows what the reporting is going to be. But Luka is coming back to kind of get evaluated. But Reeves will be, without a doubt, he won't be available for the entire first round. So unless LeBron can just like do some crazy stuff and push it to a 6 or a 7, and then Luka comes back not 100% to eliminate them, I just don't see how that happens. But I would like to see what, from a ball handling perspective, what Amen looks like in that series, because I think he's going to need as much reps and opportunities as possible.
Okay. Galore, who you got? How many games? Hold on. We know you was a Laker fanboy a couple weeks ago too, before Luka.
No. Luka fanboy. Luka. Okay. Luka mania. It was never Laker mania. Fuck the Lakers. But anyways, I think this series is actually gonna be a close one. Because I don't like the Rockets at all. I think that Ime Udoka is one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA. I think he's done a horrible job. He actually is the reason that we lost that 2022 finals, and I'm not gonna forget about that. And this is a guy who's one of the most incompetent offensive coaches in this league, like easily. I know he doesn't have a lot to work with the Houston Rockets, but the Houston Rockets have looked horrid offensively this season in the half court because of the lack of ball handling. And I think that the Lakers don't have the best defensive personnel, but I think they've shown that they can play like Top likes to say, these gimmicky defenses that could give KD some trouble. If KD's hitting on all cylinders, then I think that's and like obviously the LeBron isn't LeBron of like 5 years ago. Yeah, this is probably going to be a what's it called, a done series in 6, but I don't trust that. I don't trust KD to overcome all these horrible off half court offense flaws. I think that the Lakers could pull it out, and I do think that's the scenario that will happen. I think that LeBron could keep this series close enough for Luka to come back and end the series. That's how I got the Lakers.
If Luka doesn't come back, do they still win though?
No.
No.
Okay. I just
No. I'm kind of. It makes me mad because when I see these people on Twitter or whatever the case may be, right, and they might just be trolls, but like they say stuff like, "Oh, LeBron James, we still got faith we're gonna win the series because LeBron James is gonna lead. We gonna go back. We gonna go back to because Houston has 4 seed, so we gonna go back to LA 1-1. Luka gonna come back. He gonna save the day, whatever the case may be. I'm like, bro. When you put I don't want to put these type of expectations on a 41-year-old LeBron James. I just don't want to do that because all that ball handling, all that athleticism, all that speed, that ball pressure that they have, right? That youth, it can get to LeBron, especially if it's the on-ball creator, and that's what makes the Lakers so good is because their half-court offense with all of these guys together, and LeBron's playing in I call it a specialized Aaron Gordon role because he's making catch and shoot threes, attacking closeouts, and scoring at the basket in transition. But now you don't have those guys. So now, even though LeBron's been playing honestly well as an on-ball creator, their number one guy, right? In a playoff series, one thing Houston is good at is defense. On the other side of the floor is where they suck. And they can't really create anything.
I don't even think they're that good at defense. I don't think that they're that like especially since they lost Steven Adams and they don't have the second chance opportunities that he provided. I don't think that this defense is all that. I don't.
I think the defense is really good.
I'll say I don't know what.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go that far.
I'm not saying they're not still a top 10 defense. I'm talking about like where they were defensively in the beginning of the season and where they are now. I think that's two different levels because of the rebounding.
You don't think they're gonna look just better defensively because the Lakers will lack shot creation?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. 100%. I just don't want us to get it fucked up like the Rockets or some elite defense or not. They
Oh,
can be figured
don't
out.
worry. The next round, they ain't gonna get too far. So
And by the way, Galore, don't try to, because I know what you try to do, right? When we talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Luka Doncic, you're gonna, oh my gosh, Oklahoma City, right? Oklahoma City didn't have a tough run. They played all season, right? Shai played all season, all 64 games. Well, not all. Well, now I'm gonna say all the 64 games that they won. This is the moment they've been playing for to get this easy run to the championship. That's what they get to sleepwalk first 2 rounds.
they do.
Sleepwalk.
They do.
Hey man, I
I don't
just
want to.
They do.
listen. I think that is, they put themselves in position to, for this, but if I think the Lakers were healthy, I think they would give everybody a run for their money. But that's just me personally. That's just me
Hold on,
personally.
hold on, hold on,
That's
hold
just
on.
me
Look, let
personally.
me ask you.
That's just me personally.
Completely healthy. With the Lakers beat the how many games did the
It,
Lakers go with the
We
Thunder?
were losing 5 against the Thunder, bro.
Thank you.
Bro, we
Thank
losing
you.
no.
5, bro.
Listen. The OKC Thunder definitely have dominated the Lakers this season, absolutely. But I think
We
that
would have to face them in the second round.
yeah, I think they would lose, but I think it would be a 60. I don't think it would be a sweep. I don't think it would be a sweep. I
It'd be
just
a quick
don't.
little 5. Get them boys.
Do you
out
think
of
we
there.
would have beat San Antonio? Because hypothetically
Yes.
speaking, let's just say we kept the 3rd seed because Luka and Reed stayed healthy, so Denver doesn't overtake us.
I think that the reason why I asked you the experience question earlier is because I think that that's a series that would lean in Lakers' favor because of hold on, because of the drop. Listen, because of the drop coverage that the Spurs play, the deep drop coverage they play with Wemby. I think they have enough mid range shooters that can come off the pick and roll to make it competitive. If and also the Spurs 3-point shooting, I don't believe in at all. You can believe in Devin Vassell and all these fake ass shooters like Harrison Barnes and
I
fucking
told you that.
depending
I
on
told you
De'Aaron
that.
Fox and fucking Stephon Castle, to consistently hit their 3-point shots. I don't believe in that. I don't. And
Okay.
I've been consistent on this Spur. I've been consistent on this low. I don't think the Spurs are going to go to the conference finals if everybody was healthy. I don't think so.
Okay. Let me hold on.
We'll
So
find out though.
like I like I said,
They'll probably play the Nuggets. They'll probably play the
The
Nuggets in the second
The
round.
Nuggets for sure. But
Okay,
like
yeah.
the Lakers, man.
Hey
okay.
man.
So what I keep trying to explain to him is experience only matters when a team is neck and neck or a team is a little bit worse. Experience don't matter when a team is up here and the other team is down here. The Lakers are down here, the Spurs are up here.
I think you're overestimating how good the Spurs are. To be honest, I think everybody
Oh
is.
my god!
I think everybody is. I think they're a year away. I think that, and honestly, yeah, I don't know why you're talking because I've been high on the Spurs. You were the one that was saying they were going to be in the play-in. Who said there was going to be a top 5 seed?
Who said
Moi,
that?
me. I said that they were going to be a top 5
No, you
seed
said
before
they
the
were
season.
gonna.
Yes,
He
I
said
mean
I said they were gonna
he said
play
they were
in.
going to be in the play-in. Yes, he said they were going to be in the
Man, you
AC.
just hated from day one, man.
Exactly. Just when everybody. So
Hey.
so when I talk about the Spurs, I'm talking with objectivity. I absolutely think this team has done this season has been phenomenal, but I think that there's a lot of flaws that they have that is not going to go in their favor in the postseason. They've been able to get away with in the regular season. I think I've seen this play way too much. Like we've never seen a team that this inexperienced go to the finals or in this type of conference. In this type of conference, yeah, I don't believe in it. No. I
Okay.
don't.
We can. This is the best series in the first round. We're gonna start with you, Galore. Nuggets and Wolves. Who you got and how many games?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think this is the best series. But I got the Nuggets, man. I got the Nuggets. I think that this the Nuggets in terms of where they have been in the last couple of weeks. They finally been able to get everybody almost healthy. Aaron Gordon, I know Aaron Gordon's still dealing with his hamstring injury, but I think that the Timberwolves have had the Nuggets number for the last couple of years. But this is the best roster the Nuggets have had in the last couple of years, in my opinion, since 2023. And I think that they'll be able to get over the hump. It's probably going to be a 6-7 game series, just knowing how these two teams match up. But I think that what the Nuggets for offensive firepower, especially if Jamal Murray is translating, they've been able to take the Timberwolves 7 games with Jamal Murray dropping like a stripper. You know what I mean? If he translates or even rises in this series, I think the Nuggets can win comfortably in 6.
Okay. Who you got?
I also got Nuggets in 6. I agree that like who the Nuggets have been in the last like 10 to 15 games of the year is really who they actually are. They've been dealing with injuries the entire season. Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson have been out. Jokic has missed games as well. And then, I think Minnesota's filled with a bunch of frauds too. Like I don't really believe Minnesota is a real team. Rudy Gobert is going to have to start making something besides those BS fadeaway jump shots he did last year. That's just not real. It's not really sustainable. Randall has been horrible, and I do mean horrible. In the second half of this season, he's been like terrible. I do like Dosunmu though. I love that addition. I actually do think it provides them with far more versatility offensively that Ant is going to need in a series like that. But I just think this is like the best version of Denver that I think they've ever put around Jokic. And when everyone is healthy and going, and then you got the clicking of the 2-man game with that third option with Aaron Gordon and who he's become, bro, it's just a team that you're going to have to beat. And I think that's going to be a tough out. I think it's going to be a very interesting series. But
I'm drinking my drink, man.
Go ahead and go, man. Go ahead and go. I got.
Hey, by the way,
Denver.
Hey, by the way, you're talking. Listen, Lo. What you're about to hear, I'm letting you know. It's not an act. It's really him. It's really
real.
him.
It's real.
So when you
do is authentic.
All right, Top. Go ahead, bro. Let's get ready, Lo.
Come on, man. We got Ant. We got J Mac. I don't care who you pick. Wolves in 6, man. That's who it is. That's who it is. It's Wolves in 6. Y'all boys gotta stay asleep. Y'all do this every single year. Y'all did it last year, right? Y'all did it with the Lakers. Lakers in 5. That's all I heard all year, right? Y'all did it last year, the year before, right? With the Suns. Oh my gosh, Kevin Durant, they got Book, they got Bill. We swept them boys. They did it again with the Nuggets. Oh, they got Jokic, they got Murray, they won the championship. Got them boys out in 7. We are gonna beat them again. We're gonna do it again, Lo. We're gonna do it again. And I tried to tell Glor, right? This little fugazi little streak y'all believe, bro. This little 8-game win streak is not real. It's fluky.
Oh my god.
Hold on, Lo. Hold on. Tell me right here. Tell me right now, right? In the last 8 games that they won, right? This the biggest win streak of Jokic's career, right? And it's crazy. But look,
it is crazy.
But besides the Spurs, name one one real actual team that's good that they beat.
Didn't they? Well, you probably know this because I can't remember if the Lakers was healthy or not when they beat us.
No, you beat them in overtime.
Okay. Because I thought they played us another time.
Nope.
I think you're right. I think the only like good team is what you call it.
So y'all move by this Fugazi street. I seen them when I deep dive into this matchup. I'm like, okay, I see the Jazz twice. I see the Grizzlies twice. I see the Raptors in there. They're Fugazi. Nobody's moved by the Raptors, right? Like, bro, like we're not. You know what I'm saying? We're not moved by this little 8-game streak, right? And Aaron Gordon has astronomically dropped off as a defender. Their defense is horrible. Their defense is awful. And guess what? They cannot guard us. They can't guard us. And all I hear is, okay, Nikola Jokic. We're like, that's the game plan. We're going to let Nikola Jokic get off, right? He's going, like, there's a reason why in our past matchups, right? Jokic has 60-point triple-doubles, 40-point triple-doubles, 40 points, this, that, on an elite efficiency, but we still win. Because guess what? The way you guard the Nuggets is you shut off one or the other. And the story of this matchup is to shut off Jamal Murray's water. And we do that. Against Jaden McDaniels, Jamal Murray does not show up ever. Against Ayo Dosunmu. And for the past 2 seasons, I looked at the data, right? He's averaging 10 points per game in 69 possessions on like 40 true shooting. Ayo Dosunmu puts him in a box too. Now, if you asked me before we got Ayo Dosunmu and before Bones Hyland started playing well, before we got Kyle Anderson, I would have told you, okay, Nuggets would probably beat us, right? But now the addition of these guys, our bench is for real now. That was the question. That was the question mark for us. Like our bench, we lost Nikhil. Our bench production is terrible. But now look at Bones, right? His ascension, right? And it's a get back matchup for him too. We ready. Look at Naz Reid. He's had a terrible second half of the season, but we'll get him back, right? We'll get him back, right? Terrence Shannon Jr., look at the way he's been playing. He's hitting at the right time, right? Ayo Dosunmu, we're putting Jamal Murray in a box. We're letting Jamal Murray Jokic, get off. Get off. We're going to put Rudy Gobert on one of these non-shooters. Christian Brown is a terrorist. We're not worried about him. We're not worried about Christian Brown.
You say you're gonna put Gobert on a non-shooter?
Yeah.
So
that's what we always do.
Randall is guarding Jokic.
Yeah. We do it all the time. You can go.
That's what I said. Hey, look. Yeah. That's what I said.
No. Glory, like I said, we can pull up the film. We always guard Randall with Jokic.
Yeah, you have him shadowing. Yes, you have him shadowing. But the entire game.
Sure. And not the entire game.
Not the entire game. Yeah. There's times where Gobert does go on him, and I think Gobert. I actually do think Gobert's done a really good job on him. What is the season series?
The series.
Yeah.
The season series this year they're up 3-1. But like I said, I'm not really before we got Ayo Dosunmu, like when we got Ayo Dosunmu belt at home, and that was like a playoff game. They needed that win because that was when we were both tied for the 3 seed. And people are gonna look at the Wolves schedule and say, okay, they didn't even win 50 games. But guess what? I think it was you can go back to March 21st, right before Anthony Edwards got injured, because the game after that we played the Celtics. And we beat the Celtics. The Lord knows we beat the Celtics. Bones Highland. That's when he learned about Bones Highland and Ayo. But we've had the same record as the Nuggets. Until this little fugazi 8-game streak where they blew past terrible teams, Anthony Edwards got hurt. Jay McDaniels got hurt. And then our offense plummeted to the bottom of the earth. We have the 28th ranked offense over the past 2 weeks. But guess what? But guess what has returned? That defense, right? We're playing like a top 3 defense against top 10 defenses. We're like our top 10 offenses were like top 5 and a half court on defensively, right? Because we're ramping things up, and that's what they do. They ramp it up defensively, and they look like one of them teams again. The only reason is because Ant's out, and people don't realize how much Ant's floor raising this roster. We don't have a lot of guys who are really great offensively. It's Anthony Edwards. He's one of the best half-court suppressor scorers in the NBA. It's Shea, and then you could probably go Luka, and you could probably go Anthony Edwards. Against top 10 defenses, Anthony Edwards averages 31 points per game. That's more than his season average on 65 true shooting. 65 true shooting, Lo. You heard that? And that's the majority of his points coming in the half court. He's not no transition scorer, even though I think he needs to add that, right? But he's not a transition scorer. But the reason why I believe in this matchup now is because they can't guard us. We can put Randall at the 5. Randall against Nikola Jokic guarding him. I think it's 72 or 73 possessions, something like that, right? When Jokic is guarding Randall, he's 62 true shooting, killing him every time.
But they'll put Aaron Gordon on him. They'll put Aaron Gordon on him and just use Jokic to roam off of Gobert.
No, but thing is, okay, that's the question mark in this series. Like, how much does Gobert play? Because they're gonna be forced to play this little gimmick defense, right? Now, you know the little gimmicky defense. They run the same thing against Oklahoma City, and I don't know why people believe in the Nuggets, right? They're frauds. They're fraudulent. That's what they are. I'm telling you, they're fraudulent. Because look, even if they beat us, right? And I don't think y'all are crazy to say that
if they beat us. Okay.
Yeah, if they beat us, right? Because I don't think it's crazy. They can beat us in 6 or 7. We can beat them in 6 or 7, right? I think it's going to be a really tough series. But if they were to get to Oklahoma City, they don't stand a chance. I don't care how many games it goes. Because when you get into this gimmicky defense, and it's super gimmicky, right? You put 2 on the ball, you send ghost blitz, you send all type of sideline traps to try to get Shea off his game because they can't guard him one-on-one. It's not last year, right? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, you've seen the game, 15 assists, 0 turnovers because he's gotten better, right? Look, they're going to blitz Ant just like they did a couple weeks ago in the beginning of March 1st. They're going to blitz him at half court. We put Randall or Naz Reid at the 5. It's pocket pass. We playing 4-on-5 every time. Every time. And
how well is your defense when Gobert's off the floor?
It's bad. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man!
But then it comes.
Hold on, Tom. Let him. Hold on. Before we get to the Shea on versus the Nuggets, let Lo talk about the Wolves because I want to hear this. Bro.
No. I'm all for it. I agree that the series gonna be close. I just bro. I don't know, bro, because even when they take Gobert off, then the defense is gonna be bad. I agree that Aaron Gordon's not the same defender, but Ant this year defensively has definitely dropped. He not the same.
Boo boo.
You also don't have Nikhil either. And so I agree with Ayo though. Ayo is like a far better player. Let me first say this: the record of the Wolves is not a representation of how good they are. And I think everyone knows that. Everyone knows that they are clearly better than a 49-win team. I also think, however, most people believe that the Nuggets are better than a 53 or 54-win team as well. So the record aside, we all know that everybody dealt with injuries. It's at the end of the day, I just don't, like you said, offensively, bro, it's a lot to ask Ant to do for a 7-game series against a team that has added far more counters, because what you're saying is true about how y'all beating them. And the Nuggets are like struggled, but like y'all are facing them in the first round. If it was a second or third, when Aaron Gordon and MPJ then wore down a little bit, now they not 100% healthy, and you can capitalize off of that, bro. Facing the Nuggets in the first round, bro, that's the reason why I ain't want to do that shit. That's crazy, bro.
That's what crazy. Lo, that's what I was trying to get him to understand. Like, the Nuggets, number one, like the last couple of years has risen in the playoffs defensively. Even though they haven't been the best defensive team this season, they rise in. That's a fact. That's a fact. Is it not a fact, Lo?
But they're still going to be the worst defense. Well, maybe the Lakers, but they're still going to be the worst defense of the crowd of teams we're talking about.
Sure.
Them raising from a bottom 10 defense. Like, I would hope so. Like they're one of the worst defenses.
But I think they're head and shoulders above everybody else offensively, though. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference maker. And listen. By the way, the Spurs, the Nuggets, when they played the Spurs, right? If they lost that game, they could have played the Lakers in the first round, I believe, or they could have played someone else in the first round if they lost, I believe. So they chose
the Rockets.
They could have played the Rockets in the first round if they just sat their starters and just basically trying to drop that game. Yeah. But they won intentionally. You know why? They want Minnesota in the first round. They want Minnesota in the first round.
Now that's OD. Everybody wants Houston. Everybody wants Houston.
Houston is nice, but what I'm telling you is that the Nuggets are just going to be too much offensively, and you're going to have to be banking on two things to go in your way. I'll give Ant the benefit of the doubt to perform well. Sure. We'll give him that, right? Because I don't think the personnel for the Nuggets have for Ant is the best. I think there's going to be much more team defense involved, a lot of different coverages, a lot of gap defense, just making Ant guess at every move. But there's not. If the Timberwolves last year, I just Finch showed me that he is not that coach that can get you over the hump. I don't think Finch is a good coach. I think that he's gonna lose the chess battle with Adelman, and I think last year is a perfect example. Hey, Lo, you guys remember the game that the Timberwolves the Timberwolves blew out the OKC Thunder? You remember that game in last year's Western Conference Finals, right? What did the Timberwolves do really well in that game offensively to get Ant going? They gave him the ball and momentum going downhill into the decision making, make those quick decisions, right? And what did they do the next couple of games? What did they do the next game, Lo? Completely went away from it.
Went away from that, yeah.
Exactly.
I do remember them doing that, actually.
Exactly. So what I'm asking you is, do you truly believe in, number one, Finch to make the proper adjustments and to outcoach Adelman? And number two, do you trust Julius fucking Randle in a series to be the personnel for Nikola Jokic? Yeah, you got it, bro.
Here's the thing, though, bro. I know Finch is not a good coach, and I want him fired. But the thing about it is that I don't care about him in this specific matchup, bro. Like, Chris Finch is a I don't know what gets in his brain when he plays the Nuggets, but he's a mastermind, right? Because like I said, right, and we can go more into the matchup data, right? You shut down one of them, you have a chance to win, right? That's what Finch leans into, and it's not just him against the Nuggets, it's him against everybody, and that's why we lose against the Thunder, because Finch doesn't adjust to the team that the matchup we're playing, right? The specific game plan that we have defensively for this matchup works. Against Oklahoma City, it doesn't. Like, if you see the difference between the Lakers and the Thunder last year, the reason why we beat the Lakers is because we guard Luka one-on-one and we switch heavy, right? We're gonna switch a lot in the playoffs. We're gonna guard him one-on-one. Against Shea, we can't do that, because if you switch and you guard him one-on-one, there was plenty of times where you seen Dante on him, you seen an Ant on him, you see a Randall on him in spot minutes, you see a Reed on him. We can't do that because he's like a great isolation scorer. Last year, Luka was fat. We all know that. He was terrible in isolation. We were comfortable switching Gobert on Luka, but we cannot do that. on Shea. We were picking up Luka full court, wearing him down for the fourth quarter. He was terrible in fourth quarters. Shea getting us in foul trouble, right? Because he's a different type of archetype. He's slithery, right? He gets underneath you. He was drawing fouls.
Okay, Top. Listen,
Even some
Top. I got just a simple question for you. Stand on it. How many games is the Timberwolves going to beat the Nuggets? Yes, sir. Like what? How many games?
6 games. 6 games.
All right, let's move on because you're gonna keep embarrassing yourself because this series is not gonna go the way you think it is.
But here's another point.
This series is not gonna go the way you think it is.
Here's another point. So Chris Finch, right? His scheme is based off of we want to take away the three, right? And that shows in the numbers, the frequency, right? We hold the opponents to the lowest 3-point frequency in the NBA, right? So the Nuggets, their superpower is their 3-point shooting. They shoot the
No, it's their half court sets and their P&R with Murray and Jokic.
Are they not one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league?
Yeah, but they attempt at the bottom though. Their frequency is already at the bottom.
They prioritize. Yeah, they prioritize getting quality looks because of Jokic and Murray.
Yeah, and we're gonna take them looks away from them. We're gonna tell Jokic to play 1-on-1.
But the quality looks that they rely on, it doesn't have to be threes though. That's the concept of a Jokic led offense is just to get the best shot, period, regardless of volume or not. Because the Nuggets have never really been a high volume 3-point shooting team. They've been accurate, but they've never really evolved.
And last year when they were a terrible 3-point shooting team, they had the highest production in terms of cuts. Like they were getting all their money within backdoor cuts and stuff. I know but I'm saying that's how like they create quality looks. Like no matter they can be anywhere from the court. If it's a three, it just happens to be a three, then they'll take it. But they don't prioritize that. And that's not something that they're probably going to be a difference maker in a series, bro. Listen, I think it's going to be a good series, but we're going to see. I know the bias in you doesn't want to give it up, but you gonna come to realize it, bro. Let's just move on, bro.
It's not biased because I really believe it, but we can keep moving on. But like I said, if the Wolves lose, y'all can blitz me. It is what it is.
You're getting blitzed. You're getting blitzed.
I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna listen to I was wrong. I'm gonna say it because I'm not gonna say I was biased because I don't think I'm being biased. I genuinely believe we're gonna beat them. It's gonna all
and that's sad. That's gonna be disappointing for you.
Who's gonna stop who the most? And I think the Nuggets had no capabilities of guarding us. 0. But we get
and I give you.
And
Randall,
they can't guard either Sumo or Bones Highland transition as well because they're a terrible transition defense. And one thing that allows us to be better in this matchup is our unpredictability now. We're not just this crazy isolation half-court scoring team because of the addition of Ida Sumo and because of the addition of Bones.
Hey, look, I've never seen someone explain this much into detail on a series they believe so much in. I've never heard that in my life.
Hey,
bro gave us a full analysis just to make us believe what you believe, bro. Next series, bro.
Bro. I make a good argument though.
No, next series, bro.
Because you're not addressing Randall, and you know Randall's gonna attempt the second.
No. I address Randall.
He's going to attempt the second most shot on that team.
That's fine though. Look, Randall.
That's fine.
Randall in the Spurs matchup and Randall in the Thunder matchup, I'm worried. But in this specific matchup with Jokic guarding him, I have no fears.
Jokic is guarding him. Jokic is guarding him? What makes you think Jokic is going to be guarding him?
5 minutes, yes, he will be guarding
him. But even if Jokic is guarding him, like you said, it's Gobert. How many minutes of Gobert and Randall will be sharing the floor? Because at that point, offensively, your concerns are way more.
We're going to be awful.
Hey, bro, hold on. What's the next series, bro? Let's move on.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, and we're going to move on. Lo, let me ask you a question. So, if we were to take Gobert off the floor, and he's like, Finch has no problem with pulling him off the floor. Right?
Yeah.
In the specific matchup, there's no problem with that. Tons of coaches have.
Again, against the Lakers, yeah.
So not the Lakers, but say if
no, he did it last year against the Lakers. He pulled him out for Nas.
I don't remember that, but I mean, say if we put Randall at the 4 and we put Nasri at the 5 and we start running action between Randall and Anthony Edwards. So now when they're putting 2 on the ball, Anthony Edwards all he has to do is make a pocket pass. Now Randall's playing 4 on 5.
The one thing that be pissing me off is the nut teams don't do that against Jokic because that really do piss me off. But when that happens, I'm not denying that y'all offense would be better. But then it's just, what are you giving up? Then defensively, y'all might get so worse because effectively what you're trying to argue is that without Rudy Gobert on the floor, that you think offensively y'all are going to be able to keep up with a Jokic-led offense.
I do.
Man, God, come on, bro. You believe that?
No, because I'm telling you, we are going to shut down Jamal Murray. I'm not worried about Jamal Murray. I'm not. He's the least of my worries. He's going to drop.
You wouldn't even have to,
again.
but that's not who you would have to worry about at that point.
Ooh,
because
who else?
if Jokic, because if Gobert is not on the
Jokic
floor,
can get off. Jokic can get off. That's what.
And so you think then at that point you're generating as many quality looks and offensive possessions as Jokic as a primary scorer without Gobert on the floor
on an island.
No. Jokic in our matchup has been an elite scorer, like crazy scorer, and we still win. Jokic had a 60-point triple-double, and we still won the game because Jamal Murray is going to drop. And that's why they have no chance against OKC because they do good on both of them.
None of these teams got a chance against OKC.
But. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Next net, bro. Come on, bro. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of this, bro. I'm so tired. I can't wait for these niggas to get first round exit so I can laugh at you. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. But let's move on, bro.
We can move on. We can go quick with the playing matchups in the East. Who do you got going in the playing the 9-10 matchup with the Hornets, the Heat, and the 76ers, and also the Orlando Magic? We start with you, Laura. Who you got in those matchups?
Now let Lo go first.
Just so y'all both know, it's already been Embiid has been ruled out. So
yeah, we already know. Yeah, man, per usual, nigga, per usual.
Which sucks because I actually do think they would have been a very interesting if they fell to like 8 and they had to go against the Pistons. That would have been very interesting. I will say this though, they might still be able to get the 8th seed, or they might be able to make the playoffs just because how bad Orlando is. Because Orlando's been terrible. Actually, I'm gonna go as far as say I actually do think they'll still beat Orlando. That half court offense with Paolo this season has been terrible. Sure, Franz is back, but they're gonna have to like make decisive decisions down the stretch and make their shots. They've just been terrible. Orlando's been terrible, and their defense has really dropped. Even with what's his name back when Franz is there, their defense has just been really, really bad, or not as good as it was before. And then they have a hard time just staying in front of a lot of like quick guards at times, especially when you have a 4 or 5 that stretches out the floor. Orlando's going to go. Philly's going to go in that series with Edgecombe and Maxey and Paul George playing like the best offensive perimeter they've had all season long. So I do think they'll be able to pull that off. And then 9-10, man, it's going to be interesting because it's hard to deny what Charlotte's been doing for the second half of the year. They've just been amazing. They've been one of the better teams. I might lean towards Charlotte just shooting them out, Miami out of a game. I just don't know if Miami's going to be able to keep up with them. And my gut is telling me Charlotte will beat Orlando. My gut is telling me Charlotte will beat Orlando and Philly, but it is a 1-game sample size. I'll say Charlotte beats Orlando, and then we get Philly at 7, Charlotte at 8.
Okay, and for me, Charlotte after the Wolves would probably be my second favorite team in this year's playoffs. So both of the teams are rooting for it. Don't go in the first round, but the Hornets. Something scares me about the Heat though. I think it's like the culture thing about it as well. Like they I've seen Tyler Hero on his previous matchups. He just kills the Hornets for some odd reason. So I see Heat fans talking about on Twitter like they want them to lose apparently because they want a lottery pick because they know this team has just been mediocre for years. But the Hornets, I just like their 3-point shooting. I actually just made a video on them, so I deep dive into them. LaMelo Ball, sneaky, one of the best offensive engines in the whole entire NBA. Like he's raising this offense to +10 levels when he's on the floor. So I think if you get them on a hot night, hopefully they will be hot against the Miami Heat. Then they get out of that one. But the Heat just scare me with Eric Spoelstra and like their just continuity. Some of them, the culture of it all. Like they're a pretty decent switching defense. I just think their offense is gimmicky, right? Like they don't run ball screens. They just run a whole bunch of isolations, pass, cut, screen away, and that offense only works for a certain type of personnel. Like the Celtics, it can work for a team like them because they have the personnel to do it. The Heat, not so much. So I think if you just hold your own and guard in space, you'll be all right against the Heat, right? Unless they're just turning you over. The 76ers, Magic, I was pretty. I don't want to say I was high on the Magic, but I was like in the middle because I didn't really know about them yet. Like I didn't. I was telling people, the we haven't really seen them completely healthy. Like we haven't seen Franz, Paolo, Suggs on the floor. We haven't seen all these guys on the floor together, so we don't know what we're going to get from them. Same thing with the Sixers, right? And now that you're saying Embiid's out, it's kind of scaring me. But I think Maxey got something for him, right? I think the Magic can sometimes struggle guarding speed creators, and I think that even though Maxey, we talked about that in the last video about us Maxey not being on the All NBA second team, he's had a terrible 2026, right? And he's been, up and down the whole entire year. But I think when you get a Maxey that's on, especially without Embiid, because when Embiid's off the floor, he's a good player. Even though their offense is terrible, he's still a good player. And I like the Sixers in that matchup. I think, you know, they had a guys like the wing defenders to guard Franz Wagner, to guard Apollo Banker, like a Paul George. He could have been second team on defense. Like if he had a whole year worth of work, right? You got Kelly Oubre, you got VJ Edgecombe. They got so many perimeter defenders that you can't throw on guys like them. So I would take the Sixers in that matchup to beat the Magic and to get out of there. The Hornets. I think that the Hornets are just going to outscore them, outgun them. All right, the Magic just don't have enough. Like you say, they're a terrible half court offense. Like they're awful. So I don't like that combination in a playoff situation, in a playing situation at all.
Yeah, I agree with the both of you. Not to that you guys hit all the points on the nail. The only thing I would say is I think the 76ers, like, bro, Orlando just lost to the main Celtics, bro. We just had we had Ron Harper Jr., Luca Garza, and Baylor Shireman all drop damn near 30 points on them. This team is horrid in the half court, bro. It's bad. And we might have to I think Jamal Mosley's been the coach for the Magic for since 2021, correct? I think we might
Correct.
have to have a serious. I think we might have to have a serious conversation about his job in the next couple of years. This offense,
Oh,
this
this
is the
year,
best.
this year.
I'm gonna say not the next couple of months.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah, no,
sure.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, okay.
since the last 3 years, right? This is the best offense that the Orlando Magic has had. Guess where it ranks? The 19th best offense this season, right? The last couple of seasons they've ranked 22, 27, and 29, bro. Like this offense is horrid, bro. They're also gonna have to make a decision between Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero. Also, they're gonna also have to discuss about that as well, especially with Paulo's new contract hitting next year. So I think the 76ers get it. I think that defensively, the Orlando's a bad matchup because they are zone reliant. They play a lot of 2-3 zone, which is probably going to be a perfect defensive scheme for Orlando, who cannot shoot the ball outside of anybody outside of Bane. And or the Hornets. I think the Hornets bliss the Heat. I think that their offensive firepower is going to be way too much unless the Heat are able to win like able to win the on the boards and just I basically out physical the Hornets because that is one of their biggest weaknesses is also turning over the ball. Outside of that, if they make sure that they maintain a good turnover to assist ratio, and also play good defense, I think that they can easily get by the Heat. And I obviously got the Hornets beating the winner of those two. So yeah, we're all on the same page.
Okay, we can jump right into the playoff scenario. So we all have the Hornets making the eighth seed, and we all have the 76ers right at the seventh seed. How many games and who wins in the Pistons Hornets series, Galore?
Cade, bro, it's all dependent on Cade in my opinion. I think that Cade looked good in the both the Bucks game and against I think it was against Charlotte he played. I thought he played really well. When he was on the minutes restriction, I think he played around 26 minutes, but he looked like he was playing pretty efficient. Making good decisions, not turning over the ball, and he didn't look too gassed for obviously on 26 minutes we can't gauge it too much, but if Cade is like fully healthy or at least in like 90% of themselves, I think the Pistons can win this just because of their defense alone. I think they have the best interior defense in the league right now. I think that they have amazing defensive personnel for
Hold
for
on, whoa! Did you just say the Pistons have the best interior defense in the NBA?
yeah, they have the lowest field goal percentage at the rim. They have great
That's
interior
is
defense.
that true?
Yeah. I could double check after this, but I think that the Pistons defense is
You
going to
upset
be.
it's not the Wolves?
No. Because I'm thinking like this, the Thunder, the Spurs. Like, am I tripping?
Nah, bro.
Oh,
I think the Pistons. I mean, y'all can. I can double check that, but I think the Pistons defense is.
I'll double check it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pistons defense is going to be the difference maker in this series, and I think that their physicality, and their ability to cause turnovers. I think that they're literally the worst matchup for the Pistons in terms of stylistically, um, and I think that the Pistons can pull that out in like 6 games. I'll say 6 games if Cade's
Well, you
healthy.
got
If Cade's not 100% and he drops like a stripper like he did against the Knicks, the Hornets are probably gonna win. But if Cade's healthy, which I'm gonna assume, I got Pistons in 6.
he'll be alright.
It is OKC and then it's Spurs, but the difference is this is Basketball Reference 0 from 3 feet. But the difference is Spurs is 66.3 to Pistons 66.6. And so there may have been like a day where you saw it where it was that way, but it's and the difference between Detroit and OKC is literally 1%. So there
Yeah,
might have been a day where you saw it where it was that.
yeah,
I also have Detroit. I do get a bit concerned with LaMelo as an offensive engine trying to create against like physical defenses and getting up under him and then trying to like really create separation. And he's like really the only other true ball handler, passer, playmaker on his team, which then is going to hurt everybody else offensively. Cade is going to be very, very, very important to what this team is trying to accomplish on the offensive side. But to be fair, shout out to Jalen Duren. Like he's like really pieced together some really good games in Cade's absence and being a creator. And they probably could just win off of sheer defense. That's why I'm leaning a little bit more 6 for Pistons. But if they do, if Charlotte gets hot and they can get hot and Melo may surprise a few people, they're going to make that very, very interesting. I actually believe that is, in my opinion, that is the most either not the most or second most interesting matchup in the first round. To be fair, Denver and Minnesota is up there as well. But yeah, I think that's the most interesting one.
yeah.
And
I
then
agree.
I don't know if I'm supposed to go, but Boston and Philly, Boston is gonna win in like 4 games.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even address it. I didn't even address
Yeah,
that,
I don't
bro.
even. I think,
Hey,
and to be
you,
honest with you, I don't even think Embiid helps him out that much in that series. I actually
hey,
think like
you know who said that the Magic would be a bad matchup for us, then it might cause some, havoc for the Celtics in the first round. So just take a wild guess of who said that.
I'm assuming top there. I'm assuming so.
But he hopped off the
Oh,
train real quick. He hopped off the train. We said that
yeah, I
in
did. No.
last week's podcast, and in one week after the main Celtics beat them, he was like, "You know what? I might have been wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I might have been wrong." After the main Celtics had to put a BTA on them niggas.
Well, here's the thing, right? I was wrong about the Magic, and I admit my wrongs. I was wrong about them. Like I said, I wasn't too high on them. I just thought they were a little bit questionable. Like I just didn't know their ceiling, right? I just didn't know it. But Jamal Mosley he's bad. Like, he's awful. I watched a lot of their film. He's terrible. But the Hornets, like I said, like that. Other than probably the Wolves and Nuggets, I think that's a team, a matchup for me that's interesting. Like stylistically, like y'all were saying. Y'all hit the nail on the coffin. Is that like this team, if they get hot, right? They can get hot and they can maybe win a couple of games. Like because they're gonna win one at home, where they got the crowd behind them. They just making every single shot they got. It's like they got 2K Zins on them. Like you don't know what they shoot. It's just all going in. But like the physicality of it all, right? Like the Detroit Pistons. I seen this matchup a couple nights ago. Actually, like I'm just watching LaMelo Ball kind of drop. Colin Kanupa can't really create for himself. Like they just don't have a lot of isolation scores, right? They have a good amount of PNR guys, right, and a lot of guys who really feed off of LaMelo Ball's ball handling. But when you see a switching defense and like 45% of your shots are threes, and you don't really have any 2-point scores, right? And I think that should be the point of emphasis for them in the offseason. Like get some guys who can really finish at the rim, can really create for themselves, can also hit like a mid range or whatever the case may be a pull up, a back to the basket game, right? Or maybe a point of attack, right? So going into the offseason, that should be a point of emphasis for them. But like the
Yeah.
Celtics and the 76ers, I see a lot of people saying, like y'all said, sweep. We thinking sweep? I don't know about sweep. I
Yes.
think they get a game or two.
No, I think Maxi. First of all, I do think if Embiid was healthy, I would have wanted him to more so go against Detroit just because of Embiid's inability as a defender, getting like kind of go out there and try to defend at the 3 point line the way that you're going to have to do with Boston. But no, I don't know. I just think Boston, bro, they pieced together something crazy. Like what they've done on both sides of the floor is ridiculous. Tatum is like way better than what I thought he was going to end up being. And he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even have to be who he was last season. He can be like just 80-90% of who he was. And I think that's enough as regardless of his first or second option to go up against a team like Philly. Maxi does concern me though as like a creator. He struggled on last like 30 some games. So that bothers me. VJ's um in experience also bothers me. And then you're asking then Paul George to kind of step up against a wing defensive set of Brown and Tatum where I just don't think he's going to do that.
Pandemic peak.
Yeah, so I just don't see enough options for Philly to kind of. I don't even think if Philly got hot, they could even compete with them. I do think it's going to be a sweep.
Sweep. I mean, I think with that offensive firepower, like if you get them on a high night, they can maybe shoot you out of a building. So, I mean, I give them one game, right? Like think about it, they got so much firepower offensively. Like you get a good night from all of their guys. Whew. But yeah,
I just don't think it's going to happen though because the team that they're matching up with can prevent them from doing those things. That's the biggest issue.
Exactly.
Okay. Moving on to the, we can go to the Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly, I think this is an interesting matchup in its own right, even though y'all probably don't think so. The Raptors, a lot of people are low on them. I mean, I'm kind of I kind of am, but at the same time, I'm like a lot. If I'm looking at the specific matchup, I'm like, okay, the Raptors, they get out in transition a ton. They don't even play in the half court. Cleveland, is not a good defensive transition team. Like they're either middle of the pack or terrible. They actually allow teams to get into transition up. Like I think bottom 10 in the NBA. So, and I don't Donovan Mitchell. I don't against good defenses. He can get a little bit gimmicky himself. He can start turning the ball over. He can start turning into an offensive engine that he has been this year. And he gets away from the ball movement. He tries to do too much, put too much pressure on the rim, try to force himself in the rhythm. And like against Thompson defense, he drops bad. James Harden, like he's not the greatest scorer in the world anymore, like he used to be. And you know how he can get in isolation sometimes where he has cold nights. And Evan Mobley also, like the Raptors, they turn you over and they thrive off of that. So if they can kind of bog them down with their switchability and get Evan Mobley and these guys to turn the ball over, they can feast off that and probably get 2 games. I just don't trust them in the half court, and they're a terrible 3-point shooting team. So I think Cleveland is going. It's too much offense for them at sometimes in this series.
And go ahead, Law.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not that high on what they're doing out there in Toronto. Sure, they get out in transition, but the reason why is because how bad they are in half court, so they need to get out in transition. And obviously, when in the playoffs, you go up against a team that can knock some shots down. You're going to have to slow it down and go in transition. And they also just don't match up really that well with them. Jakob Poeltl's going to have to play a lot of minutes in that. And from a slower footed standpoint, Harden is about to just do crazy things. Like it's
Blame me on.
yeah, it's about to be ridiculous. So I don't know. Shout out to Scotty. I would love to see my biggest takeaway from this series though is to see what BI looks like, because if anything, he should be the one that kind of steps up, and he's looked really solid defensively throughout parts of this season. So my biggest takeaway is going to be what BI looks like, but no, I got Cleveland in like 5 games.
Same. I think I same. I think that the only thing interesting is that the Cavs don't have a lot of wing depth. So the personnel for BI is probably going to be what Jalen Tyson and Dean Wade. We're probably I don't know someone like that, like because they don't have like any shot creators in the half court, and that's really one of the biggest issues that they have is they don't have any solid creators that they can count on consistently in the half court sets. Because Scotty Barnes as a shot creator is not that yet. I don't think he's developed that aspect of his game just yet. But defensively they do have pretty good personnel. They have a lot of versatility. They can run a small ball that might cause the Cavs a little bit of a headache because of the 2 big lineups that they run. I've seen that they ran Scotty Barnes in Colin Murray Boyles at the five at times, and they found success because of the size advantage and the foot speed. But I think this is a fairly easy series for the Cavs. I think that they win in 5 games.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is a better defender, Scotty Barnes or Chet Holmgren?
Chet.
You don't think it's close, right?
Nah, probably not. No. Chet.
So
Chet is like. I think Chet is underrated as a defender because of Wemby. If Wemby didn't exist, like I think Chet would actually have an argument for DPOY this year.
I agree, but the reason he's out on the reason why he's
You
asking
don't
you is
agree. You don't agree.
no,
You don't agree.
time and talk. The reason why he's asking you is
Don't throw that out.
because we
No.
talk. I'm literally telling him the reason why he's asking you that is because me and him had a breakdown yesterday where we were giving our all defensive teams, and I put Scotty in there, and we were talking about if Scotty was on OKC Thunder, right? How good would the OKC Thunder's defense still be? And I still said they would be an all-time great defense. Maybe not as good as they were with Chet, but they definitely still be an all-time great defense with Scotty Barnes.
You hear that?
Let's just say they'll be the best defense in the league. I don't think they'll be an all-time great defense.
No.
What's the cap on the all-time great defense though? What's the cap? What's
like
OKC right now?
8 points better than like league average, or 7, 8 better than league
That's
average.
what I'm saying. Like he said, if you replace Chet Holmgren and Scotty Barnes,
so who's the 5? Hartenstein?
Yes.
Oh man, come on.
They wouldn't even be the best defense in the league.
Especially this season, without Hartenstein and J-Dub missed like a good portion of J-Dub didn't even play half the year.
Defensive.
You think with J-Dub missing half the year and Hartenstein also missing.
No. We're talking about fully healthy. No. We're talking about fully healthy.
Well, Chet just led the team to a better defense than last year in that scenario.
And he's a great defender. I'm not saying he's not better, but that defense will still be great even with Scotty Barnes in place of him. I think Chet is a better defender. I think Chet is still a great defender.
All-time great.
It still be by far the best defense in the league right now.
No,
and your
the Pistons.
You think that Chet makes that much? There's that big of a difference between Chet and Scotty as a defender, just because of the rim protection.
Yes.
I disagree.
I told him.
We can move on. We can move on, bro.
Nah, but I'm really intrigued by this matchup though, because I think it's going 7 games. The Knicks and the Hawks, and I have a take as well. And we're supposed to make a video on this because I want the world to hear this, because I think this is facts. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the Hawks' best player.
Oh my god! Oh, bro. Bro, why? Why pull the non shit right now? Because, bro, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, low, right? Like during this offseason, right? I've known low I've known top for like 2 years, right? And specifically because about his Timberwolves takes, right? We talked about the Nickeil Alexander when he left to the Hawks, right? And he told me,
I forgot the connection. Okay,
let's listen. He said that Terrence Shannon Jr. and Bones Highland or Robert Dillingham were able to negate the loss of Nickeil Alexander. And now he's moved it over to Bones Highland and Ayo Dosunmu. So now all this energy about Nickeil Alexander is coming out of absolutely nowhere because of the last couple of months of basketball that Nas, I think has locked in the MIP award. So shout out to him for that. But
for sure.
But the fact that you're trying to say that he's the best player on the Hawks is, I'm sorry, he's not better than Jalen Johnson this season. He's not. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's brought a lot of value to the Hawks, and he's been one of the biggest reasons on why they've been able to be this good late in the season. But him saying that he's better than an All-NBA caliber player in Jalen Johnson this season is absolutely fucking crazy work. Crazy work.
And y'all will see, because the data and the eye test tells me, bro. Like when I'm watching the Hawks, like when Jalen Johnson is on the floor by himself without Nickeil Alexander-Walker, they have a negative net. They have a negative net rating, and they also in the offense is worse, like way worse. When Nickeil Walker's on the floor without Jalen Johnson, the offense is better. And when Nickeil Alexander-Walker's on the floor with Jalen Johnson, their offense thrives. So that tells me that Nickeil Alexander-Walker is their best offensive player. He's also a better defender than Jalen Johnson as well, right?
Yeah.
He comes to this team, and this team is completely rejuvenized, right? They have the confidence to get rid of Trae Young, right? Because of his two-way ability, the way he can guard on the other side of the floor, right? The way that his three-point shot making, his rim finishing. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the best player on this team. It's just what it is. Like all the other guys, like Kongwu stretch big, Dyson Daniels' specialized defensive role, all the other guys. It's between two players, Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And the best player in the half court is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Their offense, the data tells me, the eye test tells me, if you put the ball in Nickeil's hands and you take Jalen Johnson off the floor, their offense is still good. When Jalen Johnson on the floor without Nickeil, their offense is awful. Awful. It's awful.
I need to see what I know. Nickeil in the last like 15-20 has been amazing. They also went on like a stretch of just mid teams, like terrible teams. But I do agree that like Nickeil is better than what people probably realize. I just would like to see him organize and be like the functional hub of an offense longer than just like stretches and on-off moments. Like even Jalen Johnson, I think, is a better defender than what he's been this season. But when you just thrust that type of offensive responsibility on him, like that's the reason why he's not been as good as a defender as he once was.
Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I agree that this series is going to be interesting. For other reasons beyond Atlanta, the whole thing that's going on in New York is just fascinating with their inability to kind of like get on the same page, in particular with Towns. However, I don't know if that's going to like really be as much as a detriment in this series because both Nickeil and Jalen are going to have to figure out how to just score consistently against Mikal and OG. And then if they decide to throw double big lineups out there, which they've been really successful on, if they throw double big lineups out there, then you're just kind of cooked at that point because then you're cutting off a lot of what they like to do when they get downhill. And then on the other side with Brunson, like if they play heavy minutes of Dyson, like there's somebody that he can just hide off on and not have to be that much of a concern. My biggest issue with Atlanta is just there's a lot of players that are far too like dependent on Jalen Johnson or even Nickeil at times to create for them. And then if that's not happening, then it's like that offense is going to look really, really, really bad. But they're probably going to have to play Dyson like 30 plus minutes to justify him being out there defending Jalen Brunson. So then Brunson doesn't have to defend. And then if you have Onyeka or really anybody else that what's his name can kind of hide on, because even though Onyeka is on paper he's a good 3-point shooter, he's gonna have to prove it to me. We're gonna have to see that happen.
I think this team reminds me a lot of the Raptors that who we just talked about. I think they have a better spacing situation. But yeah, I think they remind me a lot of the Raptors, and they have the same similar flaws. But the fact that they've been able to even be in relevancy with losing Trae Young and bringing in a CJ McCollum who's done wonders for them. You know what I mean? Fuck him for he's a part of the reason why we have the 65 game minimum. So we gonna hold him to that. But outside in terms of just the court, he's been phenomenal for the Hawks this season.
Why?
I got Knicks though. I had Knicks in 6. I agree it can be interesting, but I just think that I get concerned when your like best half court creator is Jalen Johnson, or even if you think it's Nickeil, and they're both like wing presence that will be guarded by OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Like I just don't know what that's gonna look like.
I'm a little pressed. I think my gut is telling me New York should win, but I don't, bro. The only reason why I'm saying New York is going to win is because that PNR between Cat and Jalen Brunson have been really good, and they've finally figured that out the last couple of games. Matter of fact, they killed us when they played the Celtics, and they were able to run that against a really solid defense. So the Knicks should be able to pull this out, but the cockroaches, they might stink it up. You know what I mean? They ain't used to being that.
Okay.
Hey man, hey listen, you knew it right here, low. Hey listen, we have something we gonna fuck with over here: the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat, and sometimes LA Lakers. You feel me? We might hit
Miami Heat used to have you in hell.
Hey bro, we haven't been had last time I checked, bro. We sent them packing home in the first round. They've been a first round exit the last couple of years. They won the battle. They won the battle. We won the war. That's all I gotta say, man.
For sure.
When the Heat dropped in to that 9-10 matchup, he was praising the Lord. I
want us to get. You know what? If I got Miami in the first round, then I got the Knicks in the second. Oh, my life will be complete. We don't even got to win a championship. I'm good. I'm good with that. And a gap year, by the way, a gap year. You feel me? That's what we doing in a gap year. You feel me?
Let me tell you something though. Let me tell
Hey,
you
hey,
something.
let's get. I'm ready. I'm ready for the second round. You feel me? Because that's what I'm ready to talk about. You
It
feel
must
me?
be great rooting for a team in that weak ass East, bro.
Hey man,
It must
hey,
feel
hey
fantastic, bro.
man. Don't hate the
And we'll
player,
be
hate the
there
game, bro.
soon.
Hate
We'll
the
be
player,
there
don't hate
soon.
the game, bro.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that would be lovely. That would be
Hey man,
lovely to go up
hey
against
man,
the Sixers in the first round. God damn,
hey player,
he
hey,
got the Nuggets in the first.
hey man. We be good in the West too. We be good in the West too.
That's
I'm good
cap.
over
That's
here.
Please
cap.
We
stop.
good over
Please
here.
stop.
I-
Y'all would have traded JB by now if y'all was in the West. Be serious.
hey, listen, hey, Lo, listen. I'm sitting pretty as a Celtics fan because I'm here to tell you right now, right? If we win a championship, then we good. We won a championship in a gap year. You feel me? Gap year. But if we lose, you know, we get the Nigerian Greek freak. You feel me? Get over here, toss some Jalen Brown, couple picks. You feel me? Get him over here. But that,
First of all, that sounded crazy. That sounded crazy. And that man,
hey,
he
but
not
you
going to
know, but hey,
Boston.
but
He
Lo,
not
real
going to
quick.
Boston.
Hey, Lo, real quick though. Do you think that there's a better player that like? Do you think there's a better player that the Bucks could all go out and get that they can actually retain it? Like the Celtics can retain enough talent to really compete. Like, because I don't think there's a single player out here that the Bucks can get that's better than Jalen Brown, who the teams can afford to give up. You feel me?
Y'all not trading Jalen Brown. Y'all not trading him, bro. You just yapping, bro.
He a
They're not
fake
trading
fan,
him.
bro. He a fake fan.
Hey,
That's
They're not
what he
hey,
trading
I
is.
listen. It
Jalen
depends.
Brown.
It
They're not
depends.
trading
It
him, bro.
depends. It depends,
They're
bro.
not, bro.
It depends.
They're not playing. They're not trading Jalen Brown.
Hey, bro. It
Wait,
depends, man. We'll see.
let me tell you something. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say because you know I'm the king of takes. I'm the king of hot takes. You know what I'm saying?
Bad
I wouldn't
takes, yeah.
be. Well, it's not even really a hot take. If the Knicks played y'all, well, they are gonna play y'all. But if they get out the first round, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat y'all again.
No. Fuck no. Not worried about them in the slightest. I can't wait for that series. And I hope they take care of business. Listen,
Nah,
let's get to
he's
this.
setting you up. He said because you
No, no, no,
talking
no, no.
crazy right
I'm
now.
talking
You
spicy, and
talking
I'm
crazy.
standing on it. I'm standing on it. These cockroaches cannot fuck
Okay.
with us. They can't. Okay, let me tell you. Last year, the only reason why these cockroaches got the confidence was because they beat us last year in the second round out of pure luck, out of shooting variance, out of anything. They didn't do anything to make us to make us feel like that they got the best of us or they had a problem that we couldn't figure out. Drew Holiday had a hamstring injury. Jalen Brown had a meniscus tear. KP had A's, and Jason Tatum tore his Achilles in game four. Okay, so you telling me in a series where all top four of our top five players were all compromised, right? And we had the worst 2 game 3 point shooting stretch in the closing minutes. And you think that the Knicks? I'm scared of the Knicks. No, I'm scared of us. If we lose to the Knicks, no. Let me let me dead that right now. If there was even a world of possibility that we lose to the Knicks, it's gonna be because we got our own way and we lived and died by the three and we just had a bad shooting night. That's the only way we lose to the Knicks. The Knicks don't.
That can very realistically happen.
But this is what I'm saying though. I'm not. That this is the point though. People think it's because of the Knicks. It's not gonna be because of the Knicks. It's gonna be because of the Celtics. The Celtics' biggest op has always been themselves. Hey, I've been watching the Celtics my entire life. I could be objective about this roster. They have a tough time closing games. That's a fact. In fourth quarters, where our shot died with our best player, Jason Tatum, who I love, but his shot diet is fucking horrid at times. Rather than taking the mismatches that you had the opportunity to take last year, especially in those first 3 games, right on Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns in those those fourth quarters, and you're settling for sidestep threes when you have the foot speed on Cat and you have the side advantage on Jalen Brunson, brother, like that's really been one of the biggest reasons on why we haven't been able to close games out. But this season, the Knicks have way too much going on both ends. They don't have any identity that they can depend on the postseason to give us a problem. That PNR that cute ass little PNR that they got going on is the only thing that is even remotely concerning. I'm not worried about them defensively. I'm not worried about them offensively in terms of their ability to create shots, quality looks, especially against our defense and the personnel that we have for both of their top 2 players, who, by the way, have regressed. Karl-Anthony Towns is having one of the worst years of his prime, and Jalen Brunson has also regressed from where he was last season. Okay, the fact that people actually think that the Celtics should be even slightly worried about the Knicks is fucking hilarious. The only team that is even remotely close to being anything competitive with the Celtics in the East is the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they have the biggest choke artist himself, man. We can get into that though. We can get into that.
Hey, I done got them riled up. I done
Yeah,
got
I
him riled
see.
up. He's super riled up. But yeah,
No, bro, I'm telling. I speak of facts because I hate when people put the Knicks in
I
conversations they
don't
don't
think
deserve to be
everything you
in.
said was facts, but you know, we gonna let you. We gonna let you. Let me get it off with the Wolves, so I'm gonna let you get it off for the Celtics, and now we're gonna let Lowe get it off for the Lakers. What do you know? Barring this first round exit, what do you think should be the focus going into the offseason? Because you hear a lot of people say, well, I say that I don't know what the pivot is going into this offseason, right? So, I
Mm.
mean, you had a year where the roster wasn't really any good around Luka and Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves got a player option coming up. And you got all this Giannis saga. Where is he going to go? Right? And I think the Lakers are one of a sneaky team that can maybe pick him up. I don't think he will end up there, but they have a chance because they have, some draft picks that they can use at their disposal, or maybe an Austin Reeves that they can sign him and then send him off to another team, sign and trade. But what do you think should be the focus? Because there's not a lot of just great free agents out there, and even if there were, the top end free agents you're gonna have to spend a lot of money on. So if you were to re-sign Austin Reeves and keep him and get off of LeBron's contract, what do you think what should be the primary focus going into this offseason?
I mean, the primary focus should be, defense and athleticism. Like that's the two biggest focus, regardless of LeBron is here or not, regardless of if Giannis is in the conversation, regardless of how much money Reeves is making. That is something that the Lakers have been lacking for really like the past 3 to 4 years, even in the LeBron and AD era, where they just didn't have the proper defense and athleticism wings to kind of fill out the rest of the roster. Obviously, like that, those caliber players, they're like at a premium right now, so it's really, really hard to land them. But that right there would be the biggest difference maker. I saw flashes of solid defense throughout this year when everyone was healthy and playing, and also this is when Ayton is the backline help for a good portion of this season as well. So there's promise and potential, but me personally, the top priority for the Lakers is defense and athleticism. Getting that and obviously in 3-point shooting if they're good 3-point shooters as well, but getting those things to kind of fill out the roster and pivoting into that direction of building around Luka. And in terms of Austin, I mean, I've even as high as I am on Reeves at times, I'm not too ignorant to ignore when he's going up against like very physical defenses. He just doesn't look the same. And so, unless there is like someone out there though that plays at a higher level that would also make sense and potentially even complement Luka better, that's something that you kind of just have to roll with the punches and try to build a defense around him that makes the most sense to where even if he does struggle, you can kind of pick up extra possessions on offensive glass and then also getting a couple stops here and there. But I'm moving forward in my mind mentally of a Giannis and Reeves duo more than a Luka. I say Giannis, excuse me, Luka and Reeves duo than a
Mhm.
Luka and Giannis duo, or even really anybody else that could be available. But this offseason is going to be interesting because you're right. It's not that many free agents, but there's a couple of teams that will be disappointing just because of the nature of the playoffs. And someone's going to have to make certain decisions on what they want to do with some of the rosters. And I
For
do
sure.
think that it's going to be interesting when certain players come up for contract extensions or you're trying to negotiate where you want to go. If Miami decides to blow it up, shout out to Wiggins, bro. Wiggins would be perfect on the team and stuff like that. Also, shout out to Boston. Marcus Smart been pretty good. I can't hold you. He been pretty good. At first
DPOY.
I was a little shaky, but now Marcus he does a lot of things that we need from supporting cast members and role players.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
names besides who? Any names besides you said the name of
Wiggins.
yeah, Wiggins.
Outside of Wiggins, I mean Dort. I don't know what they're probably going to start moving some people over there in OKC just because financially they got to start making a little bit more room. Um, if New Orleans finally decides to start making some decisions with Trey Murphy and Herb, preferably Trey, not Herb, but that right there will be interesting as well. If we're talking about even on a lesser level, I was pretty high on picking up Hayward Highsmith from Brooklyn when he transitioned from Brooklyn to Phoenix. I think that's a more affordable route to go. Dayron Sharp also from Brooklyn. That's another name that I
Great name.
really,
I
I really,
love.
really
Yeah.
like. Yeah. So there's a couple of names. It don't have to be like massive swing home runs, but it definitely just needs to be players to fill out the roster that are far more athletic right now. And when I watch
Well, what
Aiden
what
play, it's like, bro, I need more athletes on this team than Aiden soft rolling to elbow.
So yeah, you named one of them that I really like. For I was just looking at just free agents. You named one of them. I think Blue Doors is out for the contract, so he's technically a free agent, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, so him and John Collins was another one that I thought would be interesting on the Lakers.
I'm not a fan of John Collins. No,
Well, why don't you think he would be a good fit?
I mean he's just a more athletic version of Rui, but he doesn't provide a lot of the defensive value, and I think he's a worse offensive player than Rui.
Okay, okay. What about Mitchell Robinson? I know his health concerns is kind of nasty, but you don't like Mitchell Robinson with Luca?
Nah, because I need a starting caliber center. Like you said, he plays in spurts. I don't know if he's going to be able to give you
He's better than
30.
Aiden.
Everybody is.
I don't want. Aiden is not an option next year. So no. I would rather roll the dice and swing and see if I can get more minutes from Dayron Sharp than what he gets out in in Brooklyn than go after Mitchell Robinson, because I kind of know what Mitchell Robinson is going to provide. Like, he's a really good hustle guy, great rebounder, and I do think he will look better offensively playing next to Luka. But there's still like a ceiling there. I would rather take a swing on someone like Dayron Sharp to figure out what I can get out of that versus going after someone that has a more defined ceiling. But in terms
100%.
of bigs, I don't think Miami's ever going to move off Khalil Ware, even though they're not like satisfied with him at times.
He hasn't been unlocked, bro. He hasn't. Me and Jules been on that for from the beginning, bro. The fact that he like if he was on any other team that ran more PNR and had actually had a maestro, bro. Oh my God! The only thing is though, I think he, funny enough, like it's kind of like the same thing with him and Aiden. Like the motor shit is a little bit of a
But I
question
think
mark.
the motor might be bad for him because they don't like feature him more in the offense.
Right.
If he's screen setting and rolling hard, because they said the same thing about Jackson Hayes in New Orleans, and he was boneheaded, which I think he is, and like his motor as a rebound and stuff like that. Bro, since Luka been here, bro, he'll run hard to the basket. He jumping out the gym to grab the board. He's also far better defensively now than he was in previous years with the Lakers, just because he knows he's trying to stay on the floor as much as he possibly can. Like, I do believe if you feature him more, like I think Spoelstra's a really great coach, but like just yelling at him like, you need to do this and that, and it's like, all right, bro, you got Norman Powell trying to find me on the road, but y'all want me to go out there and just play hard every damn possession. He start pick and roll for Luka, bro. I think you're gonna get a way better version of him.
Yeah, and one last question before we wrap it up. I just got to ask you, because I know I've spoke to plenty of Lakers fans, and it seems like JJ Redick is like I don't know what it is, but some people feel like he is the coach for the future, and they really like him. Others feel like he's limited as a coach, or isn't the future coach, like the future coach for Luka and this next generation of the Lakers post LeBron. I just wanted your opinion on it.
I think JJ is a fantastic coach. I have a hard time. I have a hard time being critical of him when he hasn't had like a full team yet. If we're being honest with ourselves, JJ at this point is basically coached 4 different iterations of a team in 2 years, with AD and LeBron and on Reeves, et cetera, et cetera. Then they traded and got Luka in the back end. Then he started off the season really a more Luka and Reeves centric type of team because LeBron wasn't there. Then midway through, Reeves gets hurt, so then he's missing that. And then the last subsection of games before Luka and Reeves got hurt, I think that's the true iteration of the type of team he was trying to coach all along. But I mean, the team has been inconsistent. It hasn't been the same. It's incomplete, and he's done a complete 180 with the style of offense he's trying to run. And I believe he's gotten the most on almost every single situation. Like when AD was there last year, I think that was the best offensive version of Anthony Davis since his Pelican days.
Yeah.
I think this version of LeBron in the last 20 games is like the perfect type of Bron that you would want as a third option. Reeves has emerged as a legitimate, like borderline all-star to fringe all-NBA caliber player under him. Max Christie developed under him to the point where you could throw him in the package to get Luka. Like, I don't know. I feel like almost outside of, I guess, maybe, what's his name? Gabe Vincent, maybe. But like outside of that, everybody's like improved under him. Rui is even like, I think this is the best version of Rui. I
Dalton Connect. What about Dalton Connect?
he's stuck. He's
Yeah.
he just and also I think the only thing that's really like held him back is just like emotional intelligence and like juggling egos. But like if you're just talking about putting personnel in proper position, maximizing players, X and O's type of a guy like that, like he checks off all those
He's
boxes.
perfect.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be critical of him knowing that the roster has never been sustainable or consistent or even a full complete roster.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think my only um criticism of him is just that he wants to be Joe Mazzulla so bad sometimes, where he just doesn't know he doesn't have the personnel to that. He does. He does. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, it ain't nothing bad.
But that's
That ain't nothing bad,
he was
though.
like that. He was like that in media before Joe Mazzulla was a coach.
No, I'm just saying. I said like Mazzulla. I'm not saying he wants to. Like, I'm not saying he wants to be.
Or maybe that's just who he is as a person.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with wanting to aspire to be, the best coach in the NBA by far. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You feel me? Hold on, real quick. Let me ask this question though. I do think that like at times he just falls in love with the switch defense. And every time y'all have switched back to a more of a zone scheme, you guys have always done better defensively, which is, the fact that he's even trying that with this type of personnel to me is, kind of odd. But other than that, I think it's,
why though? Well, if someone who watches it, it's because there's too many people on the team who are dumb, who don't know what they're doing, bro. That is the reason why. Okay. The amount of times I've had to see like Bron and AD hold Rui's hands defensively and tell him where he needs to go. Or like there's times where Laravia is the worst. Laravia, Vando, and is one more name last year where it was just like, not Gabe. No, Gabe was actually fine at that. Jackson Hayes is also bad with that. But there's times where like Vando and Laravia, they get like too antsy and they're like, oh no, I got this. And it's like, you don't have to get it. We're playing zone right now. So stay over there and like it's fine right now. But that's the reason why he goes up and down on that, where it's like, well, if y'all don't understand like zone and when to stay low and like who to elevate, how to rotate even within a zone, if you don't understand that, then like we have to keep it simple to switching defense. That's the reason why he does that.
I also think y'all have switched it around in terms of your I know you guys have you had a little bit of locker room issues going on in the beginning of the season, and you guys I mean, there was talks about certain players. I mean, JJ was hourly criticizing the team, talking about there's not guys in the locker room who aren't giving it their all out there, and he was probably like some people speculated it was Ayton, LeBron, and Luka. You know what I mean? And AR said some things after games that talked about the shift and how Marcus Smart has kind of revived their energy on the defensive end, and I'm glad that you guys were able to flip out of that. But do you think that is going to be a concerning need to like next season at all?
No, if we get the personnel, then no. It's just you're asking players to just do more than what they probably normally do, and Ayton was still trying to be in denial of who he was going to be on his team at that point in the season. Once everyone kind of accepted who they were and what they were going to look like, I think it worked out. And I don't know. I just think that's just the course of like a season. Like you're going to have your ups and downs, and people are going to be a bit upset. I actually think that's a positive thing about JJ, where he's a bit confrontational in the sense of like, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to address it. We're not about to run away from it, because there's a lot of coaches who don't do that, and then you have like this lingering feeling all season long, and then you get to the end and it's like, well, why didn't you just let me know about this in the beginning? So I rather you just address it and let it be known, because then you can get the version of what we've seen out of like Bron over the past like 20 games versus everyone's still trying to figure out what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, my team doesn't know anything about locker room issues, man. I just wanted to inside scoop on what the Lakers was.
Hey, Glor, I tell you what, I'll take JJ Redick in Minnesota.
Huh?
Yeah, I think JJ would be great in Minnesota.
Hey, shit, Finch. The way Finch was talking spicy in the beginning of the season, talking about he only got the job because he podcasted and then got game winnered by AR the first game of the series.
I think JJ will do a better job with OKC than what's his name does, Mark Dagnall.
Whoa!
I think
that's a hot one. No, that's a hot one. I don't agree with that. That's
okay. So hold on.
You know why? The reason why I say that though is because part of the reason why I don't like Mark Dagnall as a coach, not saying he's a bad coach, but like he still has not figured out ways to like involve Chet or really a lot of other players consistently. The
Thank
way
you.
in which JJ has been coaching that team, he has put players in position to do more than just like, because Mark Daniels basically just said, all right, players just go in the corner, top of the key. We're going to run a couple of DHOs here and there so you can get you downhill like AJ Mitchell and them. But it is a lot of Shea ball. And even when Luka's not on the floor, he's developed AD and Reeves as offensive players to be way better than what they are. He's developed LeBron, not developed, but he's put LeBron in position to be more than just a top of the key type of ball handler. He's put him in the post. He's put him at the elbow. He's done things to put players in way more versatile positions than just you go here and then that's the offense.
But you got to think about it though. Like those guys are better on ball creators like a guy like Chet. Like I agree.
We don't know that though.
I don't know.
Listen. Let me speak on this because I'm.
Did you think Reeves was as good as he is right now? Before JJ got here?
I mean, but look at you can say the same thing about AJ Mitchell.
What about him?
No, I think he was just injured last season though. He was just injured. He was good.
No, I'm saying like AJ Mitchell. Like I mean, he's coming off the bench for Oklahoma City, just like you know what I'm saying. So I think that AJ Mitchell as an on-ball creator has been good for himself too. I mean. He like all they really run for Austin Reeves is PNR. So I mean, he doesn't really.
Run Reeves? That's not the only thing they run for Reeves.
No, they run a lot of off.
It's heavy PNR. So I mean,
and a lot of off-ball motion. He's definitely coming off of pin downs and staggers a lot, and you know,
he sets Spains as well. They do some blind pick here and there. They do a lot of things. It's heavy centric around someone at the top of the key setting a screen initially.
Yeah.
But Reeves definitely he does a lot. He does a lot for that. They run a lot of horn sets. They do a lot of like pin downs with Reeves and anybody like really anybody else on the weak side. Like no, they do a lot of stuff.
I like what you said when putting this guy's position because Reeves finds himself always sometimes like. Where they find him on the catch, right? And a little wing slot. So I can tell when I see that so many times, I can tell that's planned. So I like that there are LeBron on the catch in the corner because sometimes he'll be in the corners. And he runs a lot of post actions to get LeBron the ball at the high post or he spams the post action for Luka to get him on the block a lot. So I do see that. But I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma City... Like I don't know if I believe in Chet as an on-ball creator. I don't, me personally. I mean,
bro, listen. I grew up in Minneapolis, so I got the opportunity to see Chet in high school at Minnehaha, him and Jalen Suggs, right? Chet got really put on like on the map when he started. You remember he was crossing up Steph, you know, he was showing like he like, you know, to have a handle at that size, like, you know what I mean? He was like that Bol type of like, you know, kind of creator that people thought he was going to be in the league. But I don't think even in his third year, like I don't think he's been fully maximized or like even, you know, really like gotten better as like a shot creator off the dribble, which I really think could add some dynamicness to this offense to keep some pressure off of Shea. If you have a guy like Chet Holmgren who can get his own shot without having to depend on someone giving them opportunities like just sitting in the corner, just being in the pick and roll. You know what I mean? I think I would love to see Chet be maximized as an on-ball creator because I do think he has that capability. Maybe he just isn't ready for it yet, and maybe Adam like he's just seeing something and we're not. But I do think that Chet has the ability to be a really good on-ball creator if he's given the opportunity. But yeah, I agree. I think JJ would be able to maximize him better than he has been in OKC right now.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got through all the topics, and we asked his opinion on the Lakers. And the court is closed. This is the end of the episode of the Court of Opinion. Shout out to Lo for coming out. We appreciate him for coming to it. This is the first guest that we've had ever. So, I mean...
Hey, man, what about that? First guest of the Court of Opinion podcast is Legend of Winning, man. I really appreciate you coming on, brother.
No, thank you for having me, man. I ain't no problem with it. Y'all already know. I be on TikTok. I pop in people lives all the time and just be chatting it up. So yeah, I definitely get mine.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm Top One Hoops. Eli, if you know me in person, this is Glor. You can go to my YouTube channel as well. I'll be posting some clips on there. This is Legend of Winning. Legend of Winning on YouTube. Legend of Winning on TikTok. The court is closed. Shout out y'all boys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Order in the court.